from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
Jeff Slauson and Erica Page here with your First Alert forecast on this Thursday as we show you this view heading downtown right now. This is another day, Erica, where we are seeing those, what's the term we're using? Kind of like musty, hazy. There we go. Hazy conditions, yeah.
Hazy, milky. I mean, you could probably come up with a bunch of different adjectives for it. But yeah, I mean, this is all from that wildfire smoke that we've been talking about what seems like forever at this point. Though the wildfires are in different parts of Canada, we still have some burning in Western Canada. The ones that we've been dealing with are burning just to our north. So the flow around this big area of low pressure helping to drift a lot of that smoke our direction, leading to some air quality concerns, not only today, but especially as we get into tomorrow as well. So that is something we are really going to be monitoring, and it's why we have the 19 First Alert Weather Day through tomorrow.
So we're going to be breaking down actually on TV in about an hour, advisory versus alert here, but the alert day for this I think is really important because, yeah, for people that have difficulty breathing, this is going to exacerbate that.
It is, and we've seen this fluctuate. That's the other thing too. At all times in the day, it may not just be in one category. Like earlier this morning, I know places like Akron, Canton, especially when I walked into work earlier today, were in the unhealthy category. Now you see a lot of us that are in this moderate, but we've had over the past 30 minutes or so, some of this unhealthy for sensitive groups popping back up. And a lot of it has to do with how thick that concentration of smoke is that's passing through our atmosphere and how efficiently it's being able to be mixed down closer to the surface. Probably one of your best visual cues to know that it is mixing down pretty efficiently is to see the haze. Notice if it's giving us a drastic difference in our visibility readings across the area. We have seen it not quite at the full visibility marker of 10 miles. We've seen it below that. I think the worst today has been about 7 miles of visibility, but still, I mean, that just goes to show you it is mixing down some, and it is going to cause some breathing concerns for folks that definitely have some of those sensitive respiratory issues, but especially all of us, especially if you can smell some of that. That doesn't really delineate one group of folks from another group. I mean, that would, at that point, would be affecting all of us. So as we go through tomorrow, especially, I want to show you this. This is a product that we have. It's called the Near Surface Smoke Tracker. And so what I've done is I've put the air quality index on the right there. So you can see the different categories and you can also see the numbers. One of the things that you may have been doing throughout the day today, or even yesterday, is if you open some of your just stock phone weather apps, it'll have that air quality reading from where you are, and it'll give it listed in a number. So if you can recognize that a little bit, this will kind of give you the ranges that those numbers are versus what that category actually is. You may find it helpful. I thought it was kind of interesting. As we go through the rest of today, and let me back this up just a little bit more, you can see that we basically stay in this moderate category. We're not expected to see significant differences from what we've already had, with the exception of some of our eastern counties. As we head into early tomorrow morning, we may start to see a little bit more of that unhealthy mixing in, especially first thing tomorrow morning. So be mindful of that. This is 9 a.m. Friday, and this is new data. We're continually getting new data in on this. You can see we have a little bit more of that unhealthy for some, which is delineated in that orange, and then we have a little bit more of that red as well. So this is why the 19 First Alert Weather Day was extended for tomorrow, because as we get through the middle part of the day, I do think we are going to have more significant impacts than, say, potentially what we saw earlier this afternoon. Some of that may be because we just don't have as much cloud cover in place. That may allow us to mix a little bit more of that closer to the surface. Air quality is something that's very difficult to forecast, especially in a longer range setting. So be mindful that this data may change a little bit as we continue to gather new data and the fires continue to burn. We get changes in our wind direction, especially into the upper levels of the atmosphere. That can all affect how this all plays out into tomorrow. But generally speaking, I do think we are going to have more hazy skies headed into tomorrow, and we are going to have some more health and air quality concerns as we get through tomorrow afternoon and potentially even into the weekend. We have to basically just wait for our next rain chance to work back in to see significant improvements there.
All right, Erica, we're going to take a look at that 7-day after this short break.
Okay.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
And we are back taking a look at that. And yeah, I think the important thing that you've been kind of hitting on here is this: there's a finite amount of time on this. It is going to start to slowly come to an end here. Reason why we're focusing on it so heavily yesterday, today, and tomorrow is because it's pretty intense now. But yes, it will clear up once we approach the weekend.
It will. And I mean, even Saturday into Sunday, you may still notice a little bit of that haze, but we don't expect the concentration of that less than desirable air quality to be mixing down to the surface as efficiently. So it may not be as bothersome to be outside, but just be mindful, especially if it's been bothersome for you today. It will likely be that way again into tomorrow, and you may still have to use caution as we get into Saturday as well as Sunday. They're both going to be much warmer days than where we have been, so I have a feeling a lot of folks are going to try and get outside and enjoy that. But again, use caution. We always got to say that with that caveat, knowing that the air quality may still be a concern there. Good news is, late Sunday night into early Monday, we have our next system coming in. It's a cold front. It will certainly reset our temperatures into next week, but more importantly, it brings us some rain, and that rain will do one of two things. First, it will help to improve our air quality. It kind of acts like a little bit of an air filter for us, but also it's going to help with our drought monitor. We had the latest drought monitor released earlier today, and it shows that a lot of us are sitting into moderate drought, which is no surprise. We figured that would happen. But hopefully, as we look ahead towards early this next week, it's kind of a bright spot for us in our forecast. We get to talk about better air quality, and hopefully folks are getting some much needed water out of that as well. Yeah,
the ground's just insane here, and I know I dropped my dog off today to a boarding facility, and the entire grass was yellow. I mean, I'm not saying like part of it, the entire part of it where they walk these dogs, very much so in need of a boost there. Erica, anything else before we let you go?
I don't think so. I think that's all of it. Just be mindful of how you and when you're spending your time outdoors over the next 24 hours.
Erica, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We'll see you at 5 o'clock. 4:30?
4:30.
There we go. Found it eventually. All right, we'll see you then.
Yeah. See ya.
And that is it for your 19 First Alert forecast. Of course, we will have our news continuing over on CBS until 6:30 and much more on all of our digital platforms. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. Have a great night and a great day. Much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 103.